Hey guys, so you want a desktop on your Pocket Chip? Well, now you can, thanks to All Grey. Today we're going to walk you through the process of how to get this working. So first things first, you want to boot up your laptop, and secondly, you're going to want it to basically ground your FEL and your ground pin. You're going to want to jump those with a jumper wire as you do in the flashing vid. Then you're going to need to head over to flash.gitchip.com, and this is actually the new flasher. I haven't used the flasher since last year, or it's since the 3D hardware acceleration came out in alpha. So they've updated it, and you're going to want to go to Flash, and it will show you here to to jump the two connections, ground and FEL. Once you've done that, you're going to want to plug your chip into your computer with a micro USB cable. Obviously you have to pull this out the back of the Pocket Chip, and be warned, it is a little bit stiff getting out there, but it does come out and it doesn't damage your Pocket Chip in any way. So once you plug it in, it will basically light up, and it will test the NAND boot functionality, test for fast boot connectivity, and then it will reset your chip to FEL mode. It will also tell you now, which it didn't before, your specs of your chip. As you can see, my chips are the old variety, so I've got the 8GB of Hynix MLC. Some of the new chips, in fact all of the new chips, have 4GB, so you may only have 4GB of flash storage on board. It'll also tell you your serial number here, and what you're going to want to pick is actually the desktop kernel 4.4. You're not going to want to touch the Pocket Chip kernel at all. You're just going to want to click on that, and it'll tell you what the size is, which is 665 megs. You're going to want to flash it to the chip by clicking this button. Now you can see down at the bottom we have a progress bar, which is nice. We also have a second progress bar here. This should start to process everything, and once it starts and gets to about 2%, we'll skip to the end of the video. But I just wanted to show you how it works. Again, obviously it's new compared to the last time we flashed chip. So as you can see, it will reprocess FEL and it should start flashing. It does take a little bit of time. I think mine last night, the one I've currently got in Pocket Chip now, took about, I think about 10-15 minutes, maybe just under 10 minutes, but it took a little bit of time. So yeah, we'll skip to the end of the video, and then we'll get on with the process. Once it's done, it will say flashing successful, it is safe to unplug your chip. You can then rate the actual flasher itself. Obviously I'm going to rate it 5 stars, and we can then see that the chip looks like this. We can just unplug, take the jumper out, and then we can plug it into Pocket Chip. If I can, so we need to take the chip out of Pocket Chip and plug it in. Now I'm presuming everyone has a mouse. I'm currently using one of these, because once you do this, your screen will be opposite. So you can do it on the touchscreen, but it's extremely hard because everything is inverted. So please bear that in mind. So I've removed my previous chip. Obviously, if you haven't got another chip, it should look like this. Just plug it back in. Your mouse or your keyboard and mouse into the USB slot. So now we just got to hold the power button and wait for it to boot. And the only way you can really tell is by turning it round and checking that it's lit up, and then eventually it will come up on the screen with the boot process. We're also going to be going into how to change the icons again in Pocket Chip mode, just to refresh you guys, as well as how to add a battery icon in desktop mode, because currently it is not there by default. So we'll let it boot up, and yeah, I'll see you in a moment. So you'll know it's done correctly once you see that logo on the screen, and then it will boot up into the desktop mode. Let's see if we can get it to focus a little better. There we go. So the first thing you're going to want to do is obviously connect a network of your choice, because network is obviously going to be non-connected as you've just reflashed your device. So we're going to want to go and head up to that little network notification in the desktop itself, and it will notify you that you've disconnected. So we're just going to want to click on that and connect to your Wi-Fi of choice. So once you've put in your password, you're going to want to press connect down here, and we should connect. If it hasn't connected, then we have to put it in again, as I've input it wrong, so we'll get it connected. Once connected, it will come up with connection established, and we just click do not show this message again. And once we've done that, basically you can't do anything on screen because you'll see that it's all inverted. Everything's, I mean, you could do it this way, but it would be extremely difficult, so plugging in a mouse is definitely recommended. Once you plugged in the mouse, obviously, and you set up these steps, you just go into computer things, and you go into terminal emulator. So move the camera a little bit further to the left, just to get you square. So once in the terminal emulator, or even the terminal should I say, basically we just put in some simple commands, and Allgrey has made this as simple as possible, and it's brilliant what he's done actually. So we're going to want to type in sudo apt update, and then the and button twice, with a space of course, and then the space, and then sudo apt install Git, and we're going to want to press enter, and it will ask us for our password, and we're going to want to type in C.H.I.P, as is default for everyone that's just flashed a chip until we change it, and we're going to want to press enter. Can I zoom out a little bit more? There we go guys. So then we can press enter, and we'll let it do its thing and get back. Once it's done that little bit of process, it'll ask you do you want to continue. We just want to press Y and then press enter and let it do its thing. So once it's done, it will just go back to the C.H.I.P as usual, and we're going to go on to the next stage, which is a Git Clone command, and we're going to want to type in Git Clone HTTPS and then semicolon / github.com / and then Allgrey, but all is capitals, G is also capitals, and then Ray lowercase, and then / PocketDESK is spelled with a capital P and a capital D, like so, and then dot, and then JIT, and then we're just going to want to press enter. And it will say done. Once we've done that, we're going to want to type in sudo dot / PocketDESK, remember with a capital P, and then a capital D, and then / PocketDESK again with a capital P and a capital D, but desk is all capitals. Now this will come up .sh, and this will bring up a nice little thing that we could have done and seen via SSH, and as I said, I'm apologising Allgrey because I didn't want to do it, so I thought it just would make it more complicated. This would be an easier way, and most people don't really want to go into doing a serial connection on their computer. They'd rather just do it on the device, especially if if they're not used to doing that in the first place and they bought this just to play around with and play games or play Pick 08, they're not really going to want to go into connecting via a terminal window on your computer. So I thought I'd just do it on the device. It still looks pretty slick, so we press enter and it will come up with this installing stuff for you. Go make yourself a cup of coffee, and it will come with installing dependencies with a little progress bar, and this will take a little bit of time. So what we'll do is we'll leave it for a little bit and we'll come back and we'll go from there. But this does take some time, so you can just leave your Pocket Chip running. Of course, as I said before, if you haven't charged it, then please do put a cable in the top and plug it into your laptop or whatever, just to keep it charged. You don't want it to go flat during this process at all. To show you guys, it does everything for you. It fixes the touch screen and everything else, and once it's done that, it's done. So now we can reboot, and it should boot up with the touchscreen correctly configured for the desktop. So we'll reboot. So once we've rebooted, we'll notice that the touchscreen is now fixed, but we're still going to obviously use a keyboard and mouse. We'll get to a login screen like this, and a couple of things to point out. We can log in here, and this will log us in to one or the other. You can see here it says PocketDESK and language code, but just here, just next to the power button, which is on your right, so in the middle, there's a little button, and we can then switch between desktop and Pocket Home. And I'll show you that more in a second, but once we've done that, we can then log in with obviously chip and chip until we change up our password and username, and we should just be able to log into desktop mode. And then what we're going to do is we're going to sort out the battery status on the desktop mode, so that you can have a status of battery of your Pocket Chip on here as well, just so you're not wondering. To be honest, I find the desktop one a little more accurate than the Pocket Home battery indicator. So it gives you a percentage. I'll show you rather than just natter on. So we're going to want to go into computer things. Remember, you can use the touchscreen now because the touchscreen works properly. And there is some stuff pre-installed. Pick 08 is of course installed now. I think this personally works better on the Pocket Home because in the desktop it does run windowed as opposed to full screen. Same with a couple of other games I've installed. They've run windowed here instead of full screen, which they run full screen on Pocket Home, which is why it's best to switch between the two. Kodi, however, runs full screen on both, and I'll show you something to do with that in a second. But we're going to want to go into the terminal emulator to sort out this battery indicator. As you can see, it opens windowed. We can press it twice to make it larger. It's very small text-wise, so you may need glasses to see it, but it works nonetheless. And we're going to want to Git Clone something that's been created again on GitHub for us, which is very, very nice indeed. So we're going to want to type in the Git. So we're going to type in Git Clone and then HTTP semicolon // and then it's github.com, and then it's / and then it's edit kid lowercase / chip dash battery dash status dot git, and hopefully this will work and I've entered it correctly. It'll ask you for your password, I expect. Did it not? So it says that it already exists and is not a directory. which is weird because I haven't, maybe someone's already put it in there for us. So if they have, we can check that by going into the folder itself. So to get into the folder itself, we just want to type in cd and then chip dash battery dash status, like so, and we should just be able to press enter and we're in there. So I think what AllGrey has done is included this automatically, which is really freaking sweet. So we've just got to set it up. So it may be a case that obviously the step before doesn't work for you as well. If that's the case, he's added it. We just need to set it up by going into the directory and then type in sudo space dot / install .sh, and once that is done, it will ask us for a password. We type in C.H.I.P, and it says it's done. So yes, AllGrey must have added it since I mentioned it to him last night, which is pretty cool. Thank you, AllGrey, that's awesome. To set it up now, we've done that. We have to go to this top bar. We actually have to right click. You can actually hold down the control on the Pocket Chip and click as well, and that will bring up this, and we need to just go into properties. Do we need to go to properties? No, we don't. Ignore me. We need to go into add. We need to go into panel and then add new item, and then down in the new item we have to select a generic monitor. So if we scroll down using this little bar here, like so, to generic monitor, we press that and then we press add, and you can see it'll add this thing called Gemon up here. So we can close this now, and then we can click that, right click up here again, is that right? Yeah, and then we want to go to properties. Hang on a second. Bear with me. We might have to actually right click on it and then go to properties. Yeah. Bugger off. And you'll see here that it actually has configuration, generic monitor, command, genmon, and period. And we're going to want to change these values. In the command field, we want to enter. Is it gonna get rid of it? Come on. Or is it already empty? It may already be empty. It may just be my eyesight that's pretty bored. You want to enter chip dash battery dash XFCE dash GENMON in there. That's what we want to put in here. So chip battery, yeah, that's correct. Down in the period, go away. Down in the period section, down here, we're going to want to put in 5. And then hit close. And this comes up with this, and it does say Genmon there. Now, I found that we can actually go into this again and go to properties. And we can actually remove the label by ticking that button and then pressing close. And then it just comes up with a percentage indicator. Even after rebooting, it still works. So that's how to get the battery indicator running on your Pocket Home. Now to switch out of the desktop version, we're going to want to go to here and log out. And then log out. And that will log us back out to that screen we were at before, where it will ask us to log in. Now if you install Kodi, which I mentioned earlier, I would tell you about this. If we go to this bar here, there will be a Kodi icon there. Now Allgrey has given me a way to get rid of this, but I haven't actually gone in there and got rid of it yet. So if you want to see that, I can do that for you, but it just means Kodi will be up here. You don't need to select it, you just need to select either desktop or Pocket Home. You can just ignore it like I've been doing. So to get to Pocket Home, we want to go and select Pocket Home, and we want to just type in your username and password again. Now I'm not sure if he's corrected this yet, but there was an issue with Pocket Home on my other chip, was that I couldn't use a mouse and keyboard. So I wonder if he's added that to it yet. No. So just a reference, Allgrey, if you're watching this, there is no mouse and keyboard coming up on the screen. I don't know if that is purposeful or if there's a way to repair that, but it would be nice to have the option to be able to use a mouse and keyboard, especially when I'm doing a video like this, as now I have to use a touchscreen. But you can see that Allgrey has kindly added a icon to change the desktop here. He's changed that icon, it's now changed to desktop. And he's also added us a little background that says PocketDESK. We can change this if we go into the settings and we go to advanced settings. We go to personalize our homepage. We can actually change the image path. We could download a new one and change it and then click apply. And icons, we can also add a new icon. And if you click add a new icon, once we've installed something, we can just put the command that we use to run it in here. We can name it, and then we can just find an icon that we've downloaded off the internet. So yeah, Pocket Home works really well, and pretty much everything you do in the desktop mode is it saves, so it carries over. So if you're on Kodi like me and you install some add-ons, then that will actually affect the Kodi on Pocket Home as well. So it's unified. It's really, really great. One thing I have noticed though last night is I went onto Terminal and I tried to type in Iceweasel and it wouldn't come up. That is simply because I'm using an old version of what is called Firefox, and if we type Firefox in, you can see that the actual terminal section has changed, and it's a little bit more basic, and I quite like it, to be honest with you. Here we can actually use our mouse and keyboard, which is nice, and Firefox should come up. I'm going to show you how to install an icon for this right now so you guys get the idea, in case you haven't watched any of my other videos. But Firefox should boot up. It does take forever though. Another thing I've noticed as well, and I don't know if Allgrey has fixed it, but I can't press Control Tab to change tabs anymore because it won't let me, and I don't know if that's something that needs fixing. You can see that this has come up now, 3 tabs. Yeah, so I can't press Control and then press Tab to change into a different open window, which means sometimes if you end up with a lot of programs running in the background, it can actually cause the chip to halt to its stop. And that happened to me last night. I had to actually reboot because the RAM was obviously, or the processor was being used up. These are just a few bugs and issues that I'm guessing will be ironed out in future updates. So as you can see, Firefox will inevitably boot up eventually, and we can just go away. And you can see that it comes up with this first run rubbish. Once it's done that, it should come up with just a blank page in future. But we can get rid of that, and we can type in Firefox icon transparent background, and we can just press enter, and this will then come up with images of Firefox with a transparent background. So we can click on images and we can go to any one that we like. We can just right click, or you can hold Control and click, and then we can just go to save image as. And here the window is a little bit weird, but if we just press enter, we can change the name, of course, to if we just press delete and we type in Firefox, say, icon, and then we press enter, it will actually download for us, as you can see. even if you hold Alt and try and drag that screen around, it never truly shows anything else. I've tried that. You just have to press enter there. So that's another thing that may need sort of fixing. To get out of this program and close it down completely, we do have to press Control and hold down Control and press Q, and it will delete. Delete it will close down, and if we press it again, we'll get rid of that, and that's it. That is closed properly now. So to set up the icon for Firefox, we just go into Settings, we go into Advanced Settings, and we go to Personalize the homepage. And here we can go to Add an Icon. We can add the name Firefox, and we can choose the icon path, which is here in Downloads, and then Firefox JPEG here, and then if we press to open, it will come up in there. And obviously the command for the program is Firefox, and then if we click apply, it says success, and if we go back and click onto the next page, we have an icon. For some reason it didn't download with a transparent background, but that may be because we didn't go and view the image. But if you actually view the full image, it should download with a transparent background, and you won't end up with that horrible white outline of a box. So that's how you change the icons. Hopefully this video helped you guys out, and it's been very fun doing it today. This is an awesome step in the right direction for this device, and yeah, I shall see you very soon. Cheers.